A mother told us she had questions about a former Montgomery County deputy long before the sheriff fired him this year over an alleged assault.
Our LEX 18 Investigates team looked into the woman's allegations involving her son with special needs and how their incident was handled by the sheriff's department. Lee Searcy has more in tonight's LEX 18 Investigates.
In January, a security camera caught this incident at a Mount Sterling gas station. The store owner says a man assaulted him over a dispute about snow removal. That man caught on video was off-duty Montgomery County Sheriff's Deputy Jordan Perry, charged with assault and other counts. After watching the video, Sheriff David Charles quickly fired him.
Now you got resisting arrest.
Since then, we've learned about another alleged incident involving the former deputy.
Put your hand behind your back.
It was August of 2020. A 13, soon-to-be 14-year-old boy's mother took this cell phone video the day Perry and other deputies responded to what dispatch logs described as a domestic at the home.
911, where's your emergency?
The mother reported that her son with special needs was agitated, combative, and threatening to stab her with a stick. She told us he had just been taken off some medications.
I was on the phone with the social worker, and she said for me to call you all to get an ambulance down here to get you to the hospital for psychiatric evaluation.
The mom, who didn't want to be identified, says the situation escalated when deputies told her son to turn over his DVD bag, and he wouldn't.
And still at this time, my child had no idea what was going on. And Perry had taken him down to the ground and then assaulted my child, punched him in the head.
In the video, you can see Perry pinning the boy to the ground when he says the child bit him. That's when Perry appears to hit the boy.
Bite me again.
This mom believes that's not how to handle a child in crisis.
My son is screaming, he's hollering, he doesn't know what was going on.
Sheriff David Charles on the incident.
I do not take these things lightly. I demonstrated that during the last case, that I do not tolerate this behavior.
After that incident, the mother says she filed a complaint on Perry for punching her son and had a meeting with the sheriff, but claims the complaint went nowhere.
And that's the last I heard of it.
She is the one who requested we not do anything to this officer, that she just wanted to make sure that he wasn't around her son and he knew the proper way to treat people such as this.
The mother told us she never wanted the complaint dropped. Sheriff Charles says Perry got a verbal reprimand and more training. But when we first started looking into Perry after the gas station incident earlier this year, we pulled his personnel file. There wasn't a single record of the incident with the child or his mother's complaint.
Why wasn't it in his file?
It was in the open investigations records, and as such, I did not have them. They're not part of his personnel file till they're finished. It should not have been there. The case was finished. It was an oversight, should not have been there, and I apologize for that.
When we sat down with Sheriff Charles last week, he gave us the documents that were missing. He told us until we showed him the video, he had never seen a clear version of it.
Obviously, I wish we could have done it without the violence in this video. Not all scenes are clean, obviously, and in this case, it was a very young juvenile, and I wish he had not been struck as well. If I'd have known that that had happened, we would have acted differently upon the officer.
What would you have done?
He was reprimanded in this case with a verbal reprimand, and he would not have been. He would have been given a much more severe reprimand.
Included in the records Charles provided last week was the mother's complaint. In it, she accused Perry of punching her son. The records also showed a memo where Perry himself said he used a closed hand strike on the child.
Bite me again.
He should not have been struck. Absolutely not.
While the sheriff and the child's mother's accounts differ on some points, both said that hitting the child was not how to handle a situation like this.
He's a young man struggling with an illness. He's not a criminal.
Currently, Sheriff Charles says his department is seeing a surge in calls involving kids with mental health issues.
We have constantly been re-updating and changing things to fit the new criteria that is coming out. to make sure that incidents like this don't reoccur.
Still, the boy's mother wishes more had been done in her child's case.
Fight me again.
It's hard. As a parent, you want to do what's right for your children.
Lee's here now. And Lee, what does former Deputy Perry have to say about this?
Well, we have not been able to speak to him, but we did speak out to his attorney, who told us that due to the pending court case in the gas station incident, he couldn't comment, but he noted that Perry has pled not guilty to those charges.
Well, walk us through how you first found out about the situation with the child.
Well, this all started after the gas station incident earlier this year, when we already had questions about the ex-deputy's personnel file. And as mentioned here in the file, there was no record of the incident with the child. It wasn't until months later that we spoke to the boy's mom and finally got to see the video. And that's when we had questions for the sheriff. And of course, you heard his answers.
All right. Lee, thank you.